This is the 8th most devastating move in jiu-jitsu.
The wrist lock.
Chop, 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 chop. I hate it so bad.
In this particular variant, the wrist is being what we call dorsiflex, which means brought back just like you see here. That stretches the tissue on the volar aspect of the wrist, so the palm side, and compresses the tissue on the back side of the wrist. So the initial injury is typically going to be injury to that soft tissue on the front as it's getting stretched and can be torn. But if the force is enough and the wrist is brought back far enough, and particularly if maybe the bone's not as strong as it would need to be, the wrist bone can break. The main wrist bone, which is the radius there, can break.
What about this way? Like if I caught it.
Yeah,
right
just the same and the opposite. So the back side's being stretched, the front side's being compressed, and the initial injury would be soft tissue injury on the back side. And then if the bone's weak enough or the force is directed just the right way, the bone can break on the front side.
Yeah, I guess most wrist locks, especially as they're applied in jiu-jitsu, are either this way. Most of them are this way, or like this way.
Mm-hmm.
There are turning wrist locks, so like from Aikido and stuff like that. Let me have that other hand actually. Oh, I can't move there. That's a twisting wrist lock.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is that pretty much the same injury? It's just
so
on one side?
It can be, but also as you're rotating through, there's you get those rotational forces at the joint instead of the angular forces, and it can injure. There's some soft tissue in there that can be injured, such as there's something called the TFCC, which is just a little ligament complex that can be injured. So that, in my mind, would be more likely to tear things than to break something, that type.
And that's a more serious injury?
Can maybe not heal as predictably. So recovery would depend upon kind of what's injured. If it's just the soft tissue on the side of the wrist that's under tension, and you tap to that pain initially, the recovery could be like right away, you just feel fine, right? Or it could be a few weeks for that tissue to heal. If you break the wrist, many times that'll be fixed surgically, which then requires 6 to 12 weeks to 6 weeks or so for the bone to heal, and then probably double that to feel like it's going to feel.
Let me ask you a question, just from your medical, as a professional. What are you, the doctor? Why are people such babies about wrist locks?
I think they hurt fast. They come on fast and they hurt.
But you would say that most people are just a baby about it, right?
I don't know that I'd say that.
You can. Look at me.
I know that I'm a baby about it.
So basically what you're saying is don't tap to a wrist lock.
I'm actually saying tap to a wrist lock.
The opposite of what I said.
Yes.
That was the 8th most devastating submission in jiu-jitsu, the wrist lock. What do you think will be number 7?